Hello, friends, and welcome back to Like Anime. It's Wednesday. We're here to check in on some anime news and junk stuff, things. It's Anime Hangout. Welcome back to the Anime Hangout. My name's George, and with me is Tony.
Yes.
Yes, you are here.
This information he has given you is correct.
Yes, this is the chill anime hangout zone.
Sorry, I'm still just thinking of the joke because you said rectify, and I thought rectify nearly killed a fi, but you know that joke.
Riggedy riggedy wrecked. No, that's funny. I don't know if I've heard that joke actually.
Oh, well, the joke is rectum nearly killed him. That's the joke. And you said rectify, and it just made me think of that. And I just...
Yes.
Rectum.
The old rectum joke.
Yep.
Well, how have you been, Tony? While we're speaking of rectum,
we should probably cut all of that out.
No, this is the chill anime hangout. I mean, we're letting it all hang out, as they might say.
Sorry, what was your question?
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty good.
You gotta be chipper. We're on a podcast.
A little tired.
So, okay,
that's it.
It was a work day for you.
Long work day. Yeah.
Well, that's good that you need a place to relax. We're gonna do that here.
All right. Come on in.
Come on in.
Relax.
Have a seat. Yeah.
Yo terashai, me terashai. No.
That was last week. Yeah. You listened to our Friday the 13th episode. I know we didn't. Yeah, we'll kick it off with some news here. We don't have a lot of news. Sometimes there's just not a lot of anime news to talk about. But we got 6 things we can run through here.
It seems like a decent amount.
And for the first time ever for these news segments, I have actual notes. I won't just be like rifling through my phone, gathering information and delaying time, trying to do that.
I mean, you're just doing that so that you have less editing to do, I think.
That's probably true.
Or do you not edit that out normally?
Well, sometimes. Depends on how long it goes, right? We're like,
Yeah.
Let's cut all that out now. But yeah, we got this first news story you tipped me off to, actually, before I saw it going through my feed. Redbox. Yeah. What did you learn?
I forget where I saw this. It was some site. What was it? Oh, Honey's Anime, I think, is where I saw this news article.
Okay. Is that like just like a channel or a...
It's like an anime news site sort of thing or something. I don't know. It's the first time I ever looked at it. But they had an article about Redbox Media has created a new anime streaming service. I think maybe the article wasn't necessarily about the streaming service as much as it was that they have essentially a live anime channel. Where when you launch the application, it just automatically starts streaming this live channel where they just play whatever.
Yeah, 24-hour anime.
And what is the name of the channel again? I forget, even though I told you about it.
It's called RetroCrush.
Oh, yes. And they have a whole bunch of older stuff. They don't have all of the older stuff. There were definitely some notable omissions for me, but there was a lot of older stuff that I'd heard of.
Yeah.
That apparently they've licensed for streaming and stuff. And you can pay, I think it's $5 a month to go ad free.
Oh, really?
It was something like that.
I didn't see that. Everything I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong because I was looking for that. So I'm happy to hear that if that's the case. But they from what I was seeing, it's like a 24-hour streaming channel, like you said, but free with ads. It just kept being referred to as that's what it was. But most places have a subscription.
It's free, ad supported, and then I think there's a $5 a month option, and there might be a $10 a month option, and I don't remember what the difference is, but
I kind of like the idea because sometimes it's what you want to watch, what show you're into right now, but sometimes you just want to see anime, and maybe you don't, You want to as a old TV station channel, throw on just an anime channel. And,
when I started the app on my Google TV, it immediately started playing, and then as I was sort of flipping through the catalog to see what they had, it was just sort of playing in the background in the upper right corner of the screen.
Oh, okay.
Nice. What was it? What was the name of the show that I watched? Aiko something.
Oh, Project Echo?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what was playing.
It's a classic.
What was strange was what was playing in the background was dubbed. But when I went to Project Aiko in like the listings of things that you can stream on demand, it was only subbed. They didn't have the dub on there.
Huh. Interesting.
So it was kind of strange. I don't know.
There's not a way to like swap that.
No, because they usually list them separately. They have like the sub and the dub, or if you go into a show, it'll have the sub and the dub sort of listed separately.
Okay. So can you watch these things like independently of the 24-hour channel thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. With ads again, like you start it and it plays an ad, and then you watch like I don't know 5 to 15 minutes or something, and then it plays more ads, and then you watch more. And but yeah, it's an on-demand streaming service as well. That's also free because I'm not paying for it, although I might have gotten like a free trial or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not into the ads personally, but I do like the in general. But I do like the idea of it. I used to be a Viz Media used to have Neon Alley. I still actually right behind me have a tote bag. I don't know if you can see it from Neon Alley.
Oh, okay. Down
yeah, that's doesn't exist anymore. But that's a subscription thing. Although maybe it was free with ads too. But yeah, I had the subscription, so there was no ads, and they actually had a few different channels. So you could, I think, as I recall, maybe I'm misremembering. But I like that idea. Like, just throw something on. Sometimes you might find something you like.
Yeah, I mean, I never really watched or even heard of Project.
Oh, really?
Aiko.
Well, I mentioned it, I think, last week when we were talking about the Otakon that happened in DC. And then crap, now I can't think of the name. Discotech, U.S. licensor, released or they announced details on their Blu-ray release of Project Echo. Which looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. But yeah, it's a classic show from the '80s that I haven't seen much of, but I know it's beloved and definitely one of those shows that came over here, to the States from Japan in the '80s or late '80s.
Yeah, it definitely had that '80s dub, the dub.
Oh, the dub, yeah.
Which was what was playing in the background while I was browsing their wares and stuff. It had that '80s dub sort of vibe. Very, I don't know. I kind of like it. I have to admit.
Oh, nice. It's got that legacy vintage feel.
Yeah, it's got that like '80s dub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're different than like modern dubs, which I mean, to be honest, like it's not good or anything, but like, yeah, it has that vintage feel to it. It reminds me of, anime that, well, I mean, in the 80s, chances are when you were watching something, you didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
You were watching the dub or you were watching the sub. It was whatever was available, basically.
And often, from stories I've heard, if you had the sub, a lot of times there wasn't subtitles. It was just in Japanese. Obviously, if it was a officially licensed thing, but a lot of tape trading going on. And
yeah, I never had any of those, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the ultra nerds at the time into anime.
Probably. Stuff that wasn't licensed and you couldn't get or whatever. Yeah.
But it takes you back, though, because you're not a big fan of dubs, but like that 80s dub style is kind of reminiscent of something.
Yeah, I mean, it's still bad, but it's like bad in a nostalgic way.
Okay.
It's nostalgically, I don't know.
Yeah, bearably bad.
Yeah, so when I went and was trying to find this Project Echo, and I found that it was only subbed. They didn't have the dub for the on-demand thing, right?
Oh, okay.
I started watching like an episode, and I was like, yeah, I actually kind of prefer the dub.
Oh, wow.
Strangely.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I can relate to that, but hearing it from you is pretty huge.
I mean, probably just because I got used to it from hearing it in the background for like 20 minutes, and it had that nostalgic vibe to it. That, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's cool. That's cool to hear. I like that. You actually checked out the service, which is cool. I need to do that too, just to see it in action. But in the article I read, they listed a few shows they have, which Astro Boy I'm not sure which iteration of that.
Like old.
Oh, like really old.
Yeah.
GTO is a great teacher. I
saw GTO on there. Yeah.
Which I think is on Crunchyroll, subbed and dubbed.
Yeah,
or at least it was.
Some of the stuff that they have, especially like the newer stuff, is on other services for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, all right. Street Fighter, the animation, and Flame of Recca, which a show I used to be into when I was a young lad. That I don't know, tried and revisited it a little bit, and was like, yeah. But yeah, that's a show a shonen, type of typical shonen action show.
But yeah, they had a bunch of older stuff like what was the one? Dororo that came out a couple years ago. There's like the new version of that. I think, if I remember right, they had like the original of that.
Oh wow.
So like they had a bunch of like 60s, 70s,
nice,
and 80s stuff. And they had some newer stuff. Like they had some, I think the most recent one that I saw was 2011. They had some show that started in 2000, but they had a lot of older stuff. I mean, it's called retro, so yeah. I assume there's going to be older stuff.
It's on theme.
Yeah. They didn't have Dirty Pair, which is a disappointment, but that's fine.
Yeah, that is.
I think it's available somewhere else. I'm not sure. I haven't watched it in a long time, but
yeah, maybe that's something we could revisit for a spotlight, because I've only seen little
Dirty
bits.
Pair?
Yeah,
like the TV series.
Yeah, or whichever. If there's OVAs or whatever you prefer.
There's a lot.
There's a lot to be had. some introductory or standout segment of Dirty Pair to start with.
I think the TV series is pretty highly regarded. The OVAs I think are pretty good. The movies not so much, but whatever, they're okay. I don't know. I kind of like all of it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, let's put that on the.
And then there's like Dirty Pair Flash, which is like the more recent sort of revamp of it. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, so RetroCrush. That's cool. Check it out if you're interested.
Yeah.
That moves us on to our next news topic. News topic, which is My Hero related.
Your hero?
My Hero. My Hero Academia, very popular show that if you've been listening to us lately, and most other people that I've come across have been underwhelmed by the several last couple seasons or parts of seasons that have just been kind of lackluster, dragging its feet. But they announced that there's a new, I've been saying new arc. I don't know how long it is. It's a new story is how I read it. But it's a new mini arc, at least, of My Hero called My Villain Academy. And there's a really cool poster for it that shows like Toga and Shigaraki and these other guys that are
Mm.
part of the villain guild, whatever they're called. I forget. It's been so long since we've seen them in action. I don't even know their institution's name. But
I forget, was Dabi on there?
I didn't see Dabi on there, which is interesting. But yeah, I am very curious about that. There's only 6 episodes left in this current season run. So I don't know if it's just that long, or if it's just like going to start that and end on a cliffhanger with that, or if it's just like the next episode is literally called My Villain Academy. But in the article I read, they called it like this is the start of this kind of story. So I assume it's more than one episode. So I don't know.
I would assume.
Yeah. What'd you think of that poster? I mean,
it definitely looked cool. It was good to see some of those characters that we haven't seen in like forever, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like in very short glimpses, but like nothing substantial in like 30 or more episodes.
Yeah. Yes, there are short glimpses of some of them.
Yeah.
Within the last year of this show. Yeah.
But yeah, not nearly enough. And yeah, we kind of need that, like reinstate like the heroes and villains dynamic, because it's kind of been like, that's always been like a part of the show that I like, that tension and that threat, but it hasn't really been felt for me. So I'm hoping that we'll get to see from their perspective and see what they've been up to, and hopefully it's more engaging than the recent stuff we've got.
Yeah, I don't know. It's As long as they don't like stretch it out like they have everything else thus far this season, might be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's still going to be stretched out, but if that content they're stretching out is really strong, then it will, by comparison,
And
I
it
think,
will be less strong.
Well, yes, but by comparison of what we've been getting, they've been stretching out material that I think hasn't been that engaging for me. Most of it. There's been some Endeavor, like Todoroki family drama going on that's been pretty good, but still stretched out.
Oh yeah, super stretched out.
Yeah, but it's still, I've enjoyed it. It's been like a breath of fresh air from what we've been getting, and so this could even up that ante, despite the way they're pacing the show now. But yeah, so we'll see. Tune into the.
Well, I mean, they have to end on like a high note, some sort of climax, to be able to
something suspenseful,
get people to want to watch the next season when it comes out, right? So yeah, maybe they'll ramp it up here at the end.
That'd be nice. I mean, I'm sure
it would be nice.
I'm sure we're not the only ones that are underwhelmed. So
I'm pretty sure that's true as well.
Yeah. So hopefully the anime production staff has taken note of that and is making wiser decisions. Because I like that show and I want it to keep me interested. So it's disappointing because clearly we're not dropping it, but yeah, it's on our minds nonetheless.
Wait, you're not dropping it?
My Hero?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well then I guess I won't either.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. If I was dropping it, you'd be like, yes, finally.
Thank God.
But if I ever do drop it, it'll be in place of reading the manga because come on, like I know they're at this point doing at least a varying degree disservice to the show, to the story, and I want to get like I want the real.
Spend 20 minutes reading the manga or watch a whole season of the fucking anime.
Well, now at this point, it's like just wait like a decade to get like the redux, a la Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist, Fruits Basket, most recently.
Yeah, My Hero Academia Brotherhood. Yeah, that's what we need.
Heroes in the Hood. Wait,
what?
I don't know. I was trying to make it hero related, and that's what I came up with. Moving on, this isn't much of a news story. I just wanted to point people to it. If you're watching Sonny Boy, or if you're scratching your head at Sonny Boy. Anime News Network, ANN, did an interview with the director, Shingo Natsume, and I think he worked on the story as well because it's an original thing. It's not based on anything. And he didn't give a whole lot of insight, but he gave some, and it was interesting. I was hoping they asked about some specific influences and stuff, but I was hoping they'd ask about the Drifting Classroom, the manga from the 70s. It's like legendary, especially in Japan. As far as horror manga go, but yeah, they did not bring that up, so I was a bit remiss about that. I thought they would, ask him about that as an influence.
And so he just spouted a bunch of nonsense and then fell out of his chair, probably, right?
Yeah, it's like you read it. I don't. Be nice to Sonny Boy. But next we have something that you do like. Princess Mononoke.
I don't like anything, so I don't know.
You don't like Princess Mononoke?
I don't know where you got that idea.
This is...
Yeah, I like Princess Mononoke.
Okay, good. Are you crying now? They did... I don't know who, actually, but someone. Or maybe Ghibli held like a press conference. Ghibli did some sort of like interview for Princess Mononoke. I think some sort of anniversary. I didn't write that down. But
yeah, I think I saw something about
coming up. Yeah,
some sort of anniversary.
And I think actually, now that I think about it, I think I saw something a couple weeks ago about that. But they were answering questions about Princess Mononoke and giving insight. And there was just a couple things. One is I forget her name, but like the girl that lives out, with the wolves and the forest.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, but I think she has a San or something, SAN, something like that.
I don't remember.
She has those like red markings on her face, and
she's on the cover.
Yes, yeah.
Her.
Yeah, that girl who's cool and
you
you
didn't write her name down.
Doesn't like normal humans. But yeah, San, SAN, San. I don't know. One of the things is just minor, but somebody asked if that was makeup. She has those like red markings, and they clarify that it's a tattoo. It's the permanent thing. Yeah. But the thing that caught my attention the most.
What is she, a fucking Yakuza?
The OG. The Yakuza of the forest spirits.
Yeah, I guess. My understanding is only Yakuza have tattoos in Japan.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, Miyazaki's flexing.
But Miyazaki wasn't involved with this interview, you said.
He was. There was some quotes from him about certain things.
Oh, okay.
So he was involved, but it wasn't like an interview with him about Princess Mononoke. It's like, like Ghibli was like the interim, I think. We'll do an interview and just ask you a couple questions.
We're gonna
internally.
We're gonna ask Miyazaki some questions that we decide to ask him, and then we're gonna send you a list of questions, and then you can ask us those questions.
And we'll use any answers we get from him. But one of the things was about in the opening scene. One of the questions was like, what was the hardest part, animating that movie? And they're like, well, it's hard to, say specifically, just one part. But they were talking about the intro, when that monster is attacking the village. It's that, huge like sludge monster and has all these like tentacles coming out. And they said animating those snake-like tentacles took 1 year and 7 months. For 2 minutes and 10 seconds of screen time. Just that part alone. I was like, wow, that's
worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it. And every Miyazaki film, so incredible. But
right. Now it's time for my joke answer.
Okay.
What was the hardest part of during the animation of Princess Mononoke?
What?
Miyazaki's dick.
Because he was producing such gold that he was just hard all the time.
All the time.
Just aroused.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Well, this anime hangout is PG-13. At least. Nice.
I think we've surpassed that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, if you were wondering, it's now been submitted. But yeah, that movie, so many Ghibli movies and Miyazaki both are so incredible. Just with animation alone, let alone story and themes and characters and music. But yeah, they look so incredible, and just to hear that, like, is definitely a faster paced action, and it's such a good intro to the movie. Like, you're already, I don't know. For me, I'm already like hooked. Like, want to know what's happening.
You want to make something good. You spend the time to make it as good as you can, within reason. You can't spend like forever, obviously, but
yeah,
Like they probably, even after having spent that much time on it, there were probably still some animators that were like, no, we can still do more.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, and I'm sure Miyazaki was right there, cracking the whip, where making it happen. He seems like such a perfectionist to a degree. Shout out to the documentaries about him that are amusing and enlightening. We've checked out. But yeah, so it's kind of cool, and there's more to it. I only touched on a couple things, but if you're curious about that, look it up. I guess we could link to things if we were in the description. I'm not committing to this, folks.
The problem is we're on so many different platforms that we can't actually link on some of them.
Well, YouTube will just be the preeminent thing. If you need links, check the YouTube. If they're not there, you know who to blame. But if you don't go there, then you'll never know. But we'll give it a shot. It's easy enough, I think. This is decision making live. The fifth thing we got on here, moving on, is another thing you cued me into, which I think a lot of people probably saw because it's Disney. But Star Wars Visions is a new animated anthology by Disney, basically with all these different Japanese animation studios contributing.
Yeah. This trailer just came out, I guess, yesterday at the time people are hearing this, but this morning for us. Yeah, it's 9 episodes, I think, right? A whole bunch of different studios doing the different episodes, a whole bunch of different directors from those studios doing each episode.
Yeah.
And it looks, if you're into Star Wars, it looks pretty awesome. If you're into anime, it looks pretty awesome. If you're into anime and Star Wars, you're as hard as Miyazaki was during Mononoke.
And watching the trailer, they nice continuity there. The dick jokes.
Thank you. I felt proud of myself.
you watch that trailer though, and it cuts between a lot of these different. I assume each 9 are sampled.
I
in
mean,
there.
yeah, there's like a jump between styles and stuff a lot. Yeah.
And even if they don't all look interesting to you, at least one of them is going to touch it, like stand out, because they're all pretty distinct and seem to cover many different aspects of the Star Wars universe. And it reminded me a lot of Animatrix, the Matrix anime anthology. That
I have to admit that I've been working since prior to this coming out, so I have not seen it with sound yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out after this.
But I did watch it, and it like some gorgeous stuff in there for sure.
So let's get into that a little bit, because there's one in particular that I'm very excited about. And when I saw it, I was like, that's Studio Trigger. It showed a pretty awesome Jedi battle happening, lightsaber.
They had 2 different.
There was 2 different ones, but there's one that with like the colors, like more pastel colors, and just the look and feel and action of it was just really dynamic. And
which other studio had 2? You told me before.
Oh yeah, Trigger has 2 different directors from Trigger are each doing one, and then 2 different directors from Science Saru are doing one.
Okay.
And the first one from Trigger, which the one I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure is Imaishi. That's Hiroyuki Imaishi, who's well known. He directed Gurren Lagann, which wasn't Trigger. It was I can't think of the name right now, but pre-Trigger. Oh, Gainax, yeah, Gainax. People here listening to me right now screaming at the stereo. But yeah, he used to be with Gainax. He did a bunch of stuff with them. He directed Gurren Lagann, and then Kill la Kill he directed, and then he also did Promare, the movie. That was huge and pretty good. I liked it. Yeah, so he's awesome. And then there's another guy.
Do you know which episode you think it was? Because they released all the titles for the episodes, right?
That's true. Well, it's which one he directed. I haven't compared with.
Oh, did they? They might have listed who directed each one too, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the list I was looking at, but I didn't pay attention to the titles much. But yeah, that one.
The one he directed.
The one is we'll see. Well, I'll let you know if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, it comes out September 22nd, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So we'll see. So there's another Studio Trigger person directed one. Otsuka is his name. I know he worked on Trigger, but I don't think he directed anything that I could see or was aware of. And then Science Saru, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Unyoung Choi, she has worked very closely with Masaki Yuasa, who they co-founded Science Saru together, but a year or 2 ago, he left Science Saru, and he's still making things, but he decided to leave Science Saru, and I was really sad when that happened, but then he's seemingly still making things. I'm like, okay.
For them? With them?
No, separately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. But with Science Saru, they both worked on and were highly involved with Devilman Crybaby and Azoken and like Ride Your Wave and The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, all these recent stuff that Yuasa's done. She's been there with him.
I've seen most of those things.
Yes. Yeah. And she's been a big part of that. So I'm very curious. She's directing this one, sans Yuasa. So I'm curious to check that out, since I love the stuff they've done together so much. And then the other one of note is from Production IG. It's Kenji Kamiyama. He's been around a long time. I actually saw it when I was going through this, that on the original DuckTales, like the one from cartoon from the 80s, he did like background art, or maybe 90s.
90s probably, yeah.
Early 90s. But yeah, he worked on like background art for that. But he's more known in the anime world for directing Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, both seasons of that, which are incredible. And then he's done a lot of other stuff, but he's also doing the upcoming Blade Runner anime Black Lotus, which is coming out soon. And he's legit. I like him. There's a bunch of others. Those are just ones that were most notable that have done stuff that we could name drop on here that people know.
I'm still thinking about DuckTales, and I'm questioning myself now.
Whoa.
It could have been 88 or 89, but that feels like 90s to me, so that's why I was like 90s. But
yeah, I thought I saw 87, but I could be misremembering.
I guess it could possibly be that early. That seems early for my remembrance of it, but
could very well be.
It could be. It could be. I mean, I said it could be 88 or 89, so I guess I can say, yeah, maybe late 87.
Like, oh, fine, I'll give you 87. Don't you dare ask for 86.
No, you can't have it.
It's the year I was born, so I will keep it.
All right, it's yours.
Thank you. And there was no DuckTales that year. I remember.
As you would, since you were born that year.
Yeah. Everyone's always very aware of the TV of their birth year.
I mean, later they are, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really, actually. I should probably look into that. See what was hot.
Would you like me to tell you what shows came out in 1975? You said no. You tried to stop yourself, but you said no.
I really wish I could. I gotta stay on task here. Like,
that's all right, because
the producer is in my ear.
I only know like one show.
The producers tell me to rap already, and we got one news story, so what to go. So let's get to that. And this one you also saw on online. Mamoru Hosoda is I don't know, in an interview, I presume.
Sorry, what? I can't hear you. The producer. Shut up, dude. Fuck, we're trying to record a podcast here.
I know. You're always talking about things that aren't related to the podcast. Or they're tertially related. I'm sorry. Mamoru Hosoda's top 5. I think it was must-see anime. Not films specifically, but just anime.
Yeah, anime. It was a mix of like series and films and stuff. Yeah.
And you saw this as well, and we thought maybe to wrap up here, since all the drama here going on this end, we just go through them and if we've seen them, and maybe at the end what we put on our top C or top must watch. I've messed up this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Our must watch anime.
I don't know if I have 5, but I could probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Hosoda chose and like what we've seen from that. I remember looking at the list. I've seen a few.
Yeah. Same. Seen a couple. Anne of Green Gables. And I will also say all 5 of these came out in 1979 when he was in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. So, which,
very formative year for him, apparently.
Yeah, and it set everything up.
So this one I've heard of. It's been on my watch list like forever. I don't think I've ever actually watched any of it though. If any, maybe the first episode, but I don't remember for sure.
I'm similar in that I've heard about it, and I've heard it in similar discussions of just like great classic anime of yesteryear. But yeah, I'd be curious to see it. The second one on here has 2 different titles: Aim for the Best or Aim for the Ace, and it is a tennis film.
Yeah, never even heard of it.
Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar, but yeah, I haven't watched a lot of tennis anime. So it could go either way there. But yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of anime in general, so.
Well, yeah, compared to what's out there, I mean, crap. I mean, this podcast
compared to Hosoda.
I mean, yeah, he saw every anime that came out in 1979.
Apparently.
Or just these 5, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm into tennis. I'm really bad at it. I like to play it occasionally. And it's a movie. Low commitment. Maybe that's something we could cover on the podcast sometime, or just see in general. Mobile Suit Gundam, which in the article I read was described as like the Gundam show or the mecha show that you didn't expect, or I don't know, something along those lines of like
This was. I mean, it was a huge show, right?
Yes,
like it was massive in the way that it sort of changed mecha anime.
Yeah. Forever.
That came after it, right? Yeah.
And I've only seen Gundam Wing, which came later.
So I've only seen, I think I've only seen this and not very much of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just a little bit.
I'm not a fan of mecha, as you know, and maybe it's this show's fault. I don't know.
So maybe if you don't like this, maybe you would like mecha pre Gundam Wing.
No, because I've actually seen some of that too. It's worse. It's worse for sure.
Yeah, mecha's definitely not your thing. I like it, but I'm not like a diehard or anything. But there's several shows that I love that have that element of mecha. So yeah, mobile.
I can deal with like a little bit. Like I can totally deal with mecha being in a show as long as there's a story that matters, and it's not just like oh look, we got giant robots with swords and shit, which seems to be most of the mecha that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean there's a glut of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like they're not trying to make a story. Yeah. They're just trying to make something flashy and catchy and giant robots.
And from the Gundam series that I've heard such great things about that I have not seen, this one being included, it seems to be an exception to that, where it is they're supposedly people love it so much, like they're supposedly supposed to be good story and good characters. So I don't know. There's a lot of Gundam series I've heard about. 08th MS Team is one people talk about. War in the Pocket is one I've heard really good things about. And like when I hear the praise, it's like it's not about like, oh, the mech is so cool. It's about like the drama and the characters and the story. So it attracts me to it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a big thing to tackle. Just all of Gundam.
Yeah, I don't specifically remember anything about this show, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I mean, there's a very good chance I'm just mixing it up with Macross as well. So.
Oh yeah.
That was another 80s thing. I mean, I guess this was 79, but whatever.
Yeah, 80s enough.
Yeah, which I mean, I would have seen it in the 80s regardless of when it came out in Japan, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible I'm mixing it up in my mind, and yeah, maybe I just need to go watch some Mobile Suit Gundam and then become okay with mecha.
Yeah, or give it another shot. See.
Yeah, maybe. Because anything that I saw would have just been like random episodes, probably, right? I don't think I ever sat down and watched or tried to watch the whole thing. It was probably just like friends that were into it that I saw episodes. Just tap.
Yeah, whatever was on.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about. There's supposed to be a trilogy of movies that like tells the story of that original Gundam series, and I've heard good things about them, which often isn't the case with like sort of when they attempt to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, movies usually try to cram too much into a small package, and you end up with a confusing mess of garbage.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard good things about those, so I don't know if it would be worth just doing the original or trying that. But I'd be down at some point to give Gundam Wing an old, shot.
Wait, which one is it? Mobile Suit Gundam, I thought, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, I said Gundam Wing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That I think that's the first one I saw. So it was a mental.
All right, well, let's do it right now. Let's watch it.
All right, put it on. We'll react live.
Oh my God, giant robots, you guys.
Wait, I love it. Next on the list is another classic, Galaxy Express 999.
Did you force me to watch this one? There was some Galaxy Express thing that we watched together.
Yeah, I was trying to think because this one is really classic, and I've always
is this a movie or a series?
It's a movie.
Yeah, then I think we've seen it.
We probably saw it. I couldn't remember if we had or not because there's something else that's different, and not named exactly the same either. But Night on the Galactic Railroad, I think, is another one we also watched. So I don't know if I'm confusing it with that, but I might be.
Yeah, I can't be sure. We're gonna have to watch that after we're done with this Mobile Suit Gundam. I guess.
Add it to the list. This last one I have seen. Speaking of Miyazaki, it is his first film, which is Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro.
Speaking of things you forced me to see, not this, but the other Lupin thing,
Fujiko Mine. You saw the first episode, yes.
Yeah.
The woman called Fujiko Mine.
Yeah. I don't care for Lupin. Sort of. Actually, probably, I was going to say sort of similar to Mecha, but I think I have a stronger version to Lupin than I do to Mecha.
Wow.
So,
what did he do to you?
I mean, when next year's Lupin Isekai Mecha thing comes out, I'm just going to be out of luck, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Isekai Mecha. No, you're going to love it, actually, because it's just going to...
It's just gonna have all the things that I hate, and that is the thing that like just comes. Yeah.
You're like, oh, they were missing this, having all these other things.
Lupin plus Isekai plus Mecha.
Yep.
Plus Killua from Hunter x Hunter shows up for no reason, and Not that I hate Killua.
It's only dubbed.
I actually like Killua. Let's
Oh
say.
yeah, I was gonna say, what the heck? I mean, it just.
I don't know. It was just the first thing I thought
You're dragging
of,
in, Hunter x Hunter characters to shit on.
Yeah. It was the first thing. No, I like Killua. Killua is actually my favorite character, which is why I thought of him. So let's say the main character from Black Clover comes in and just starts fucking screaming the entire fucking movie.
Well, really just be a screaming character.
Yeah, any screaming character will do. That's just the first one I think of.
Yeah.
God, that kid could scream.
But anyway, Castle of Cagliostro, I like. It's a good movie. So we got through this list, and we did kind of talk about throwing ours out there, but we've already gone over time. So I think.
Yeah. So like a top something.
How about just something you would want to be on the list? Just one thing, like this has to be on the list. No matter.
That would be a top one.
All right, top one. What do you got?
Oh, I was asking you.
Oh. I don't know. It's interesting. It depends, whenever I give recommendations, it's like to, take the person into account and what they're into, right? But if it's just like, see this anime before you die.
It's just must see for anyone
who cares about anime.
Ever lived? No, not even that. Anyone who has ever lived ever. I actually know what mine is.
Well, then go, because clearly.
Akira.
Oh, nice. Just the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be the thing that's just like, because I mean we're talking about things that are like influential and like that was definitely sort of I mean it's later. Like I was into anime before that, but it was influential on my my love of anime, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's great. I love I love sci-fi and I love dystopian stuff and
and
all of that. Like Akira has all of that, right?
Yes. And it's so good. I mean, I would recommend the manga.
It's so well done as well. Well, the movie is so well done as well.
It is. It is a bit story-wise at points confusing to first-time viewers.
Sure, and that's why you have to watch it 700 times.
Yeah, or read the manga, but yeah.
Well, or read the manga.
Yeah, I'm being that guy. But no, I like that pick. That is a good pick. And it's definitely like a watermark of not only anime in general, but like anime that really got America hooked. Because that was one of the early things that just made a wave.
And it's certainly not like my favorite anime or anime movie or anything like that. It's just... It is sort of the pinnacle of excellence of what anime can be, I think. In at least some way. I don't know. I'm maybe being pretentious even saying that.
No, I know what you mean, and I agree. I mean, it's hard to pick just one thing to represent that, but I think it checks a lot of boxes for sure.
So what do you got that's better than Akira? I'm just kidding. It doesn't have to be better than Akira.
Yeah. I'm tempted to go with on your argument. I'm tempted to go with like a lesser, like a non-Miyazaki Ghibli movie, and I think with this category, I'd have to go Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh.
Like if we're showing the public what anime can do, and be, which isn't like Akira goes to those crazy like sci-fi lengths visually, but I think a lot of people don't expect an anime movie to. Make them cry so much and
make them weep deeply within their souls.
Yeah. And for Americans to see, just that perspective of that. It's a historically inspired story.
What's the other one? The other Japanese World War II, the other World War II.
Oh yeah, that anime, newer one.
This Corner of the World?
Yeah, In This Corner of the World. That's really good too. That would be a nice pairing.
I think it just nails it a little bit more. Like, not that like Grave of the Fireflies is great, but like, all right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your.
It's a good count. I mean, I countered yours with the Akira manga, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's fair. So those are our picks. What do you guys got, if anything?
Let us know on all the social medias that we are on, which is all of them, I'm pretty sure. If you're not sure if we're on that social media, just type like anime, UMLIKEANIME hit enter or the little like magnifying glass search thing. And if something comes up, well, that's probably us. Let us know what you think about all of this anime news. Like, what do you think about this Star Wars thing? Is it just Disney cashing in on the popularity of anime? Maybe.
Or are you excited about other directors that we didn't mention, or any of those? Shorts look good.
Have you seen more of Hosoda's top 5 than we have?
Oh yeah.
I'd love to hear comments about any of those that I haven't seen, and even the ones I have seen, to be honest. Yeah, do the like anime thing, whatever. We're here. We'll read it. We might even mention you on the show when we talk about it, because next week, I don't know, we're probably going to be light on content because we covered way too much anime news this week.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something. Week to week, there's not a whole lot, but we'll be back again to hang out.
And before that, we'll be back for our next episode. Episode number 13 is going to be our This Week in Anime, where we cover all of the anime that have come out in the last week and our opinions and thoughts about them and that kind of thing. And then a couple days after that, we're going to be doing our Spotlight episode, which if you looked at our website, or if you're a patron and you saw the images that I uploaded, you will probably know what we're going to be covering, but I'm not going to tell you right now. Yeah, that's it. I'm Tony. He's George. Bye.
Bye, guys.